Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for part 2 of the Q&A of asking you guys what is one thing which y'all did not follow directions for, because y'all, instead of 1, you added 10, right? You added 10 things. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I enjoy everything that you guys have like just done and just put answers and all that sort of stuff. So it is what it is. But we are back for part 2. But before we get into the video, you know what we gotta do, bro. You know what we gotta do. Say it with me. Say it with me. Fit check. Boom. Blue Dewey. You already know how we do. And then, hey, I did come from the gym. I didn't take my shower yet. So yes, I am stinky, guys. But I came from the gym. I had to work out and everything like that. It's winter arc. Y'all already know it's winter arc, bro. Winter arc. But anyway, let's get into it. So I got my workout attire on, boy. You already know we had the you feel me? Anyway, so we had the old. So this is my old uniform. So for everybody that doesn't know, in the military, that like dark green one that you see everybody wear now is an old uniform, or that's a newer uniform. Sorry. This used to be the undershirt for the old uniform, and it was like a bluish, whitish, grayish type of thing. And it was called ABUs. So this is the old shirt right here, the undershirt, and then I got my I don't know what brand these are, to be honest, but these are mad comfortable, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, these are mad comfortable. Every time that I be in the gym, they be hugging me, and I love it. Pause, maybe. Anyway, let's get into the video. Well, I can't find my mouse. To turn the recording off. That way I can boom. All right, y'all, we are back for part 2. Let's get straight into it, man. We've already done this one. Yeah. Okay, so D-Storm says ranked PvP playlist, new bikes, new sets of. Hold on now, brother. Hold on. We just got a bike in the game. Can we let this bike marinate first? Can we let the bike marinate, my boy? Oh my goodness. How y'all already want more bikes? And this is one thing that you would change about the game, right? More bikes. They had to put one bike in first. They had to test the waters. You know that when you see a pool, right? So I'm going to give you all this analogy. Oh my goodness, I'm hitting the mic. So imagine if you are seeing a pool, right? And the pool look cool and everything like that, but you don't know if it's cold or not, right? You're not going to just jump in the pool. And if you don't know if it's cold or not, you're going to dip a toe in, make sure it's calm, and then you're going to jump in, right? That's what they're doing with the bike. They had to make sure that, because remember, this was the first time ever that they were adding bikes to the game, right? So they needed to make sure that it wouldn't break the game, that it wouldn't be too OP, that the handling was good, all that sort of stuff. Luckily, it all worked out, but y'all asking for more bikes, and we haven't even tasted the first bike. Like, we haven't even let it marinate in the sauces yet, man. Like, y'all greedy. That's y'all are greedy. Now, rank PvP playlist, that would be crazy. Get all the sweats in there and everything. So that way, all like the randoms, the regular people, the people that just got off of work, that way they can just enjoy themselves instead of getting smoked out by the meta. Yeah. New sets of rims for cars, that's crazy. Because don't we have like 40 sets of rims? That y'all might be a little too greedy now. Like, yo, that's insane. Separate lobbies for meets, increase in party size. Now this right here should have been day 1. The party size, I don't know why they went from 8 to 4. Because remember in Heat they had 8. I don't know why they went down. Like, if anything, you would think they would go up, right? Like, they would go from 8 to like maybe 10 or 12. But they went from 8 to 4? How did that make any sense? So 100% agree with that. Yeah, I know it's not one thing either. I know. Yeah. But separate lobbies for meets, I don't think that's important enough in their eyes to actually make separate lobbies for that. Because remember, you can just do that in a free roam lobby. Why do you need a dedicated lobby for meets and all that sort of stuff? You see what I'm saying? So about that one, I can understand why you would want that though. For everybody that wants to show off their cars and just have a safe space where people aren't going to ram into you and stuff like that, then yes, 100% I understand. But I don't know if they would do something like that though, because you could just do that in a regular lobby. Then this man Finnick, of course, the lack of foxes in a racing game, I love it. Okay, Just Gaming said, there's not just one thing out of the plethora of bad that you could change alone. I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything bad about the game. And let me know in the comments if I am like riding too hard right here, but I don't think there's anything genuinely bad about Unbound. I can't name one thing that's not terrible. Like, one thing that's like, what the heck? One thing that's terrible, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying something that's an inconvenience. I'm saying something that is genuinely making the game bad. Like, party size is an inconvenience because you can still get people, you can still get 8 players in there. Yes, it takes some time, but you can still do it, right? It's not stopping you from doing that. You can race by yourself now, so that's taken care of. You get plenty of money, so that's taken care of. There's plenty of cars, so that's taken care of. The handling for drift has been taken care of. The handling in general has been taken care of. New tracks have been taken care of. There's no more playlists where it's just the stock cars anymore. That's been taken care of. New races, all that sort of stuff. So I can't name something that is genuinely bad still in the game. I'm not talking about day one of the game. I'm talking about now. And he said you'd have to change all of the bad in order to make it worth actually playing at all. I don't agree with that, man. Like, I mean, the game is fun right now. I literally got off a stream of playing 4 hours of straight lockdown, and I just had so much fun in general, and I don't even need to play lockdown. I have all the blacklist cards. I have as much money as I could ever need on both accounts. I'm a billionaire on PC, and then I have like 40 million on PlayStation. No, I think I have like 33 million, but still, like, that's enough money that I could ever need, right? I already have all the cars. So, I mean, I think this is a little bit of an exaggeration. Of course, that is your opinion. If that's how you feel, then by all means, right? But I just think it might be a little bit exaggerated, a little bit too much. All right, iCycle Gaming says, fixing error FO3 as it's a bug with volume 7 and 8 past rewards bugging out. Dude, they have been trying to fix this bug for so long now. This is the one thing that I keep seeing people say over and over and over again. And it, like I said before, it just makes me feel so bad because I can't help y'all. I don't know how to fix it. And apparently the people who made the game don't know how to fix it either, which is insane to me because how do you not know how to fix something that is wrong with your game that you made? Like, that never has made sense to me. And you would think that they would, like, this would be their top priority. Not saying it's not, but you would think that they would be communicating with us over and over again that they're trying every day to fix this, because this has to do with people's money, like their pass rewards, the premium speed pass, paying for the ultimate edition upgrade and all that sort of stuff. That has to deal with people's money, and people do not play about their money. When I buy something, I expect it to work. That's why I'm buying it. I want it. I want what I'm paying for. How am I not getting what I'm paying for? So, sorry about that rant, y'all, but I understand where y'all coming from. Cop cars and bike and free roam and the Lakeshore police cars for the cop garages. Yeah, so what do you mean cop cars? I'm assuming the cars from Hot Pursuit, because we have cop cars. They're AI, but we have them, right? And they have been buffed, so that's cool. The bike and free roam and then Lakeshore police cars. I don't know why they don't do that. I still have, to this day, I don't know why they're not doing that, and I don't think they gave us an answer, because remember when we asked for police cars in multiplayer, just regular free roam outside of Hot Pursuit, they were like, oh, next game. Like, every answer that they gave, next game, next game, next game. They're not giving us a genuine answer. And what I think is they're either not willing to put the time in to do it, or they don't have the time to do it. But they already have the assets. If they did not have the assets, then modders would not be able to put the bikes and cop cars in free roam. They wouldn't be able to drive them because they don't have the assets. But they do have the assets, which is why we have them in the game in general. So I don't know why they didn't just add them over to regular multiplayer. It doesn't make sense to me. That would have been amazing. Imagine if you could have a cop car in free roam and a bike in free roam. That would have had so many people stay on the game out from Hot Pursuit. That would have been amazing. More weather effects like heavy rain at night and thunderstorm. Maybe snow if possible would be fitting. I can see that. Yeah, but remember, when they have like weather effects and stuff like that, it won't affect. It's not like Forza or Crew or literally any other racing game, right? Like, it's not going to affect the way that we drive. So, I don't know if maybe you wanted that to affect the way that you drive, but I don't think they would do that. All right, we got Nate again. Also, I'd prefer Need for Speed Heat's live tuning handling model. This right here, I could see why you would prefer it, but I don't know how it would work with Unbound's handling model. That doesn't depend on giving us full adjustment to the handling based on what suspension parts you have installed currently. Seems like Criterion copy and pasted most of the car list from Heat, but they never thought of the handling model. Also, the drifting was better in Heat and you didn't need to put on $20,000 drift tires to do so. I think that it was, so let's break this down. Oh, well, I hearted it anyway. Okay. So I think that they put drift tires in here. That way they could kind of like, that way they didn't have to redo the whole handling model. They had it so that you could put these on and it would redo the whole handling model, if that makes sense. I think that they did, like, how am I trying to say this? So the drift tires, right? I think it was a good idea. But I think they like locked it behind Drift Pro tires. That way they could kind of like tape on a new handling model without having to adjust the regular handling model for cars, right? Like, because when you put those tires on, the whole handling model for the car changes. Everything, even the Kaizen handling. It's like a brand new model. So what I think they did was, instead of trying to combine Kaizen or the old car's handling, when you put on the new drift tires, it completely wipes all the other handling models that are on the car and just puts that brand new one on. So I think that was a smart thing on their part. That way it would not mess up the handling model. That way you're only getting what you want, which is drifting, the drifting handling model, not a mixture of a few of them, right? So I think that was pretty smart on their part. Now the live tuning, I don't know how that would work with the current handling model on Unbound, and that's why I think they didn't do that. It could have been a lazy thing, it could have been something else, but I think that what they have now works for Unbound, and what they had for Heat works for Heat. I don't think that if they were to switch them, they would work. I don't think that if they were to bring a live tuning model over to Unbound, it would work, simply because we just, first of all, you have the point system, right? So when you adjust your downforce and all that sort of stuff, it makes the points go up and down, like we all know, right? So you have that. So that wouldn't work off rip. It would probably take out a bunch of cars. And then just how the handling models work and trying to adjust those while doing like mid-race and stuff, I don't know. It would be interesting to see. Now, if somebody had a mod where you were able to do that, that would be interesting to see for sure. I'm not throwing the idea away completely, right? But that would be interesting to see for sure. All right, Muhammad said ranked race playlist. We already talked about that. At least some sort of time leaderboard for each track and class combination. They had that in Heat. Why are we removing features that were already in previous Need for Speed games and then not replacing the features that you moved? If you're going to take out a feature, you have to replace the feature with something else. Like, it can't just be gone. Imagine having a racing game and it doesn't even have a time leaderboard. That's insane to me. So you're telling me that we're adding all these updates, all these cars, but we can't add a time leaderboard? Come on now. Because Heat had the one where I think it was your top 5 fastest friends, I believe, for each race in the game, day and night. So they definitely could have done it. I don't know why they didn't do it. That's weird. And the car class combination, yeah, and what they used to get the time. Exactly, they had that in Heat. We love to consistently race against good players, at least their race times. It's kind of hard to find one. Yeah, I mean, but you also have to realize that the comp community in Need for Speed Unbound is pretty lackluster, I would say. It's pretty small. So, I mean, the chances of you going against someone who is actually dedicated and has a lot of time on the game practicing is really small. A lot of people are just casuals. They just enjoy racing. A lot of them don't even like playing in multiplayer. If you notice on Reddit, a lot of people would just prefer to be on single player, which is insane to me, but I'm more of a multiplayer person, so that's them. That's what they like to do, and that's cool. At least you're enjoying the game, right? As long as you're enjoying it, that's fine. But I would say that's one of the main reasons why is a lot of people are just trying to just race in general. They just got off of work, their parents, their young kids, all that sort of stuff, and they just want to just play the game. They don't want to just sweat, you know? Cosmic Toaster has said, let me see this. I've always been annoyed by the handling. It feels like it's meant for you to drift every corner no matter your car. And when you don't, it feels like you're doing something wrong, even on full grip. I think they nailed grip handling with the bike, but you can't even own it. Okay. Let's break this down first because there's a second part right here. So are you talking about the old handling or the new handling? Because I will say for Kaizen handling and grip, they kind of are like, I would say I agree with you on that point. It feels like in Kaizen handling, you're supposed to be drifting 100%. Like the R8 does not feel good, in my opinion, when you have 100% grip on it. The S5, same way. The R6, same way. The Dark Horse, same way. All those new cars with the new handling, they don't feel like you're supposed to be gripping. It feels like you're supposed to be drifting because they're fluid around the corners. They don't lose speed around the corners as much as the older ones, right? They don't immediately lock up, things like that. It's easier in drift for those cars. So I do agree with that. But the older handling, I would say some of the cars definitely feel like they are catered more to grip. Some of them feel like they're catered more to drift. Like I would say the Lamborghini Diablo, right? No, not the Diablo. Man, is it the old Diablo? No, the Countach. I'm pretty sure it's the Countach. That one right there feels like it's catered towards drift. And you can also have it in grip as well, but it feels like it's catered towards drift, and that is a older handling model, right? So I would say it's just by car basis. Now the grip handling for the bike, it's okay, but I feel like it would get annoying very quickly if that was all we could use in the game. That's what I will say about that. I would say they did a good job, but if a car handled like how the bike handles, I would be very upset. I would not be doing grip at all. It sucks. Nah, especially sometimes around the corners and stuff like that, how it would slip out. Nah. This plays into my second thing I would change, and the thing that annoys me the most. The game is way too eager to give you a dramatic crash camera to the point where many times I'll hit something but be allowed to drive away. But the game has put anti-gravity on the car so it can fly in a crash camera, so I'm stuck until it puts me down. And we talked about this last video yesterday. The cameras are way too dramatic. I'm gonna say this one more time for everybody, but if you notice that your car does not have enough kinetic energy when it hits something to flip that many times, it's impossible. The game will literally make your car do it. Like he said, the game, you'll hit a car and your car will like go backwards, right? And you'll be able to kind of drive away, and then the game will make your car start flipping randomly. So that's one thing that it definitely needs to stop with. And the thing about it was, they actually nerfed the crash cam because it was way worse when, I think volume 3 they nerfed it, volume 3 or volume 4, maybe even as early as volume 2, but volume 1 Unbound, the crash camera was even worse than it is now, I promise y'all. Like a lot of the stuff that has been fixed, it's still bad, like the traffic, crash cam, all that sort of stuff, but I'm telling y'all, it was way worse before it. They actually had to tone it down. It was crazy. My problem with the handling always led me to hitting things that I would miss in other games, and that always causes a crash camera that I have to sit through. So yeah, sitting through that thing is so annoying. That takes off easily 5 seconds from your time. It was so annoying that it caused me to stop playing for months. Understandable. Epic Mod says Kaizen handling on all cars, exactly brother, and a speed cap on all cars, and the bike needs to go. Then y'all go see the real skill gap. The bike needs to go? What you mean by that, man? The bike just got in. The bike just got in the game. If those two things got implemented in the game, then y'all are going to see the numbers of the motors explode. Quality of life improvements will always be welcome to, regardless of any other ideas. Dang, brother, the bike just got in. That's crazy. Yeah, Kaizen handling on all cars, we all want that, right? There are some cars in this game that just handle like poop, like straight dog. And Kaizen handling would honestly save these cars. But I understand that a lot of these cars have like embedded in the code is their handling, and it would take a while to remove that completely and then put new code in for the Kaizen handling. So I understand that. I understand why they didn't do it. It would take a lot of time. The speed cap on all the cars, that too, yeah. The Bugatti would smoke everything immediately. And then quality of life improvements, W's. Single player updates by Heat Seekers. Now, y'all already know that single player is just not, like, single player is just dead in the water at this point. I can't even, what is the last thing they, no, because they didn't add Drift Pro, they didn't add Hot Pursuit, they didn't add Lockdown. I think the last thing that they added for single player was Audi, right? Like, that was it. That's actually insane to think about. It's almost like going back in time when you play single player again, because there's so many things that have not been added, and you look around the map and you're like, bro, where are the link ups? Where's the boosted playlist? Where's all this stuff at? And then you realize that none of that stuff was ever brought to single player, even though they could have done that. So it's yeah. Next Need for Speed, next Need for Speed, y'all need to be updating single player. Y'all lost maybe even more than half of your audience due to the fact that you did not update single player alone. If y'all updated single player with the same thing they updated multiplayer with, then I promise there'd be so many more people on this game easily, right? Just like they're literally doing the same thing that GTA 5 did. GTA 5 is just updating multiplayer constantly, and I get it. That's where the money is. That's where a lot of your players are. That's where you can brag about player numbers and stuff like that, right? So I get it. But y'all have to remember that a lot of your players are from single player games. They're not really multiplayer oriented people. So next game, y'all definitely got to do better, man. Definitely. Dang, we already at 18 minutes, y'all. That's insane. How many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We did 9 already. We'll do a few more. Because remember, we had like 58 responses. So this might be a part 3, man. All right, Werewolf Knight said, Yeah, Werewolf Night said soundtrack, Hot Pursuit, and then Porsche Elise were some amazing examples. But let us pick our own tracks because I'd rather just play my Spotify than listen to these tracks. And you know what? I think that's what EA counted on, if that makes sense, right? I think that they knew the soundtrack was a little bit iffy, but also remember, y'all, also remember that Unbound is not catering towards older audiences anymore. That is a younger generation Need for Speed game, right? That's what they're going for. They're not trying to really have like rock music and older music and all that sort of stuff. That's for the older games, right? This game is definitely more cheery, more rainbow, not in a derogative way, right? I'm talking about more like just Disney Channel, right? It's more happy. Even if there are things that are going on in the game, it's more happy and it's more catered towards a younger audience. So that's why I think the soundtrack is more focused like new gen rap, Playboy Cardi, ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, those people like that. That's why, because like I think Tyler the Creator's in there and stuff like that, because that caters towards a younger audience. That is what a younger audience is listening to now, right? So I think that EA kind of counted on people to be like, hey, if you don't like the music, then hey, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and just use your Spotify or something like that. I think they counted on that low key. So that's why they didn't spend a lot of money on the music. Yo, this man Luigi, what's up, brother? Don't know if it's been changed, but the limp mode, it has not been changed. I don't even need to read the rest. When you get hit and it cancels your burst NOS, this has been a thing in the game since day one. And I think it's more of a hitbox sort of problem in the game registering you as like hitting traffic or something like that. So it cancels all your stuff as opposed to something they could just fix, if that makes sense, right? Because they can definitely fix things with the aux and everything like that, but I think this might be an actual like genuine problem with the game. Because remember, like aux didn't even used to work. Everybody that was OG in Need for Speed Unbound, aux did not used to work, bro. Like it would get to a point where you would just not have your aux abilities at all. So they did eventually fix that, but this right here, the limp mode, I don't think they can fix that. Or you know what, I won't say they can't fix it. I think they won't fix it. That's the thing. I just don't think that they're willing to redo the hitboxes on all the cars and all that sort of stuff. That way it doesn't happen. So I mean, it could be a time constraint thing, but I think that they're not willing to do that. And no, it has not been fixed. That would have been amazing if this would have been fixed along with the auxiliary update. But I think the auxiliary update took like 4 volumes to get fixed anyway. But yeah, this has not been fixed. Hopefully in the next game, or you know what, maybe if they're really putting the pedal to the metal, they could update it in maybe a patch notes or like a hotfix update or something like that, like volume 10 or something. But who knows, you know, who knows? All right, we will do, let's see, we will do beast mode and then we'll do just right here. So beast mode said, if I could change anything, it would most definitely be the cops in any mode. I would buff them to be like Heat before the nerfs in that game. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, they keep buffing the cops in Unbound for different game modes. Like, they don't even buff them for just free roam. They buff them for different game modes so that they're more of a challenge, I guess. And they're still not the level of Heat. I don't know if they want them to be the level of Heat, though. That's the thing. I don't know. Because they could have easily done that. Especially for Lockdown, something as intense as Lockdown, they could have easily made the cops as strong as Heat, if not worse. I don't think they want to do that, though. I think they're still babying people, where they'll crank it up, but they won't crank it up to what we're used to, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, I would say that for Lockdown, the cops are really good where they are now, but for Hot Pursuit game mode, where you don't have as much going on, I think that the cops would be better. Like, actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I think the cops in Hot Pursuit are good, the cops in Lockdown are good, but the cops in free roam need to act like Heat. That's what I think. And also in gauntlet races, that's where the cops need to act like Heat cops. I think that would be better. Because Hot Pursuit has a lot going on with the player cops already and trying to avoid him and all that. And you don't even have pursuit tech, remember that, right? And then in Lockdown, you really have a lot of stuff going on. You got other players, you got AI, you got your teammates, you got all that sort of stuff, right? So I think that modes where everybody's on the same team and you're going against AI together, that's when the cops need to be buffed, for sure. All right, just said, I would love them to remove the challenges to even unlock 99% of the cars. Okay, so we talked about this last video. I agreed with that as well. That I think, that, like I said in the last video, that they do that, in my opinion, my headcanon, they do that to like artificially increase the playtime because they don't want everybody to just get everything and then leave the game. They want people to grind out for stuff. But that is a very bad grind. Those challenges are things that you wouldn't even be doing anyway. Like, you have to go out of your way. You're not even racing correctly because you have to try and do challenges, and that's not how it should be. It should be where you are able to race how you want to race, and it still unlocks the cars. Race 5 playlist, cool. Race 3 races, cool. Race 3 races in B tier. Not race 3 races in B tier and get first place with this car, with this build at this time. That's not what we're trying to do, because that is limiting the playability of what the player wants. That's not what we're doing, man. Also, some of the challenges are so grindy. Like dude 30, yeah, in a Mazda. What if somebody wasn't gonna play with a Mazda? You are limiting what they can play with because they want to unlock a different car. And I get it, you want challenges, but hey, 30 playlist, really? That is 90 races. That is a long time to be grinding one car, and you still have to pay for the car afterwards. The car's not free. You still have to pay for the car afterwards. After doing that, that's more than an hour grind. No. Ha. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, man. That's hilarious. All right, we'll do one more for real. Rice Ball, I can't just pick one, to be honest. I changed the characters, how their cars look, story, dialogue, soundtrack, doggone. And adding the start lines from Heat. Wouldn't do anything with online, though. Okay, so this is just single player stuff. It has been improved rather nicely, but I would get rid of the speed pass and microtransactions. There's literally nothing wrong with the car models. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I see what you're saying here. So basically, you would just have them be designed differently. The cars themselves are fine. Like, if somebody's driving a Mustang, the Mustang is fine. But the way that it's designed, the body kit and all that sort of stuff, I can understand that. Some of those cars just don't look like they're street racing cars. The car that, the Sylvia that you get that got stolen from Rydell's garage, that does not look like a street racing car. That's a car that you see like on a track. Like that lower to the ground Sylvia, that is not what you see in a, like, you don't see street racers have those type of cars, bro. Not at all. So I understand what you're talking about. But I mean, like, Unbound is just, and somebody said it earlier, and I think last video, they just feel like it's out of touch with street racing. And I think that they just wanted to have a marshmallow street racing, right? They didn't want it like Heat, where it was like gritty street racing, actual street racing. They just wanted it to have the theme of street racing, but still just have it be fluffy and silly and all that sort of stuff, right? So yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. Just a whole overhaul to single player would be amazing, and just like DLC to add to it as well. So let's see how many more we got. Yeah, so this could literally be part 3 right here, y'all. Yeah, because we got like a cool like 20 more. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? So somebody told me in one of my comments from yesterday's video, I'm not going to put it on here or anything, I'm not going to put them on blast, but you can find the comment, I didn't delete it. They said that I was clickbaiting my last video because in my title I was having answers from what you guys wanted. Not to mention that the title says Q&A in it. Not to mention that the thumbnail says changing the game in it in big white letters behind the cars. Not to mention that in the first minute of the video, I literally tell you guys what the video is about. I do that every video, right? So it's so funny, right? But who knows, man. Anyway, I got off track. I didn't want to rant or anything like that. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go in and drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in part 3 tomorrow.